Maintaining great health means you've got to prepare most of the food yourself, and if you're going to do that, it better be fast and easy or you're not actually going to do it. Here is a super tasty pasta that is just a matter of mixing hummus with pasta. Okay, there's a couple other things I'll show you, but this one's quick, easy, and it'll keep you healthy. Let's do it. Let's talk about hummus. It's one of my favorite condiments. It is super healthy. You can have a little bit of fat in it from tahini, or you can leave it out altogether if that's what you need to do because you're trying to lose weight or what have you. My kids love hummus. You can put hummus on just about anything and they'll eat it. Making a fast, simple hummus is as easy as throwing everything in the blender and giving it a good blend. We love the Vitamix for this. It makes things so smooth. You could use a regular blender or a food processor, but you might just not get quite as smooth of a texture. These are the ingredients. Very, very easy. And some of them can be swapped and played around with. First of all, we have the chickpea.
I thought those were garbanzos.
They're really related. They're the very same. These are no salt added. Lately, we've actually been cooking our own garbanzos because we make so much hummus, but I'm showing you in a video that you can find a no salt added bean because beans in the can have so much salt, like way too much. So add your own salt if you want. You can control it. You know what a little pinch of salt means for you, for flavor, whatever. But letting other people do it, not a great idea because they're gonna oversalt you just so they can sell you more and more of that salty thing. Let's open this up and I'm gonna save a little bit of the liquid, about half a cup, and that's gonna be the liquid in our hummus. And the rest of it we'll just dump out, which amounts to like another tablespoon or two. But in this case, we could have just dumped the whole darn can into the blender, you know what I mean? Because we're pretty close. Dump those in. You don't need to rinse them or anything like that, obviously. We are using the bean juice after all. There are really just a couple more like super core ingredients to a hummus. One, lemon, garlic. I'm gonna use cheater garlic, save time. If you've got some cloves of garlic handy, then by all means use that. But the cheater garlic is so quick, I just love it. You could say that it's a little less potent compared to fresh garlic. Just use a little more and you'll be in great shape. I knew I got this cutting board and knife out for a reason. There's just one thing we gotta chop and we're done. Lemon is a pretty critical component, I think, of a tasty hummus. Reed would say, one lemon ain't good enough. Get me two, wouldn't you?
I sure would.
Well, we're doing one right now.
Don't give me a hint of lemon. I need a blast of flavor.
She does like it blasted, like an airbag to the face of lemon. Now, if you blend that up, you've got hummus. You can make that work, but if you want to add a little richness to it and you're okay with adding some fat, tahini is delicious. You want to add the least amount of tahini possible to get the flavor that you like. Don't overdo it because you don't want to add too much fat to your diet. We eat a very low fat diet, so adding whole food fats like this, just ground up sesame seeds, is a great way to get lots of rich flavor without overdoing it. The problem with store-bought hummus is it is just too much fat. They're adding the olive oil in addition to the tahini, and now we're clogging our arteries and we're gaining weight just from eating a delicious hummus. You can make your own so much healthier, and you don't even have to use any tahini at all if your goals are maximum weight loss. We'll do this with like 2 or 3 tablespoons of tahini, and that does the trick for us. We're making a mess. We are making a mess. Be a pal and wipe your rim and keep that tahini jar clean, right, Reebs?
Why do I feel like you were talking straight to me?
Straight through the camera to the person on the other side of it.
I don't have a reputation or anything like that.
No reputation. Normally the lid's off and then I like shake the hummus and then it's all over the entire kitchen. Welcome in. Now you can add a little bit of additional flavor to the hummus, especially if you didn't add the fat. You might want to add a little bit of seasonings, herbs, and spices or something like that. I love cumin. Just a half a teaspoon or so adds a lovely flavor. Smoky paprika, like a half a teaspoon, a great option.
Do you want to try a hack today?
Hack me.
You know what they've said in the Facebook group? To add 1 ice cube.
1 ice cube?
Yeah.
What does it do?
It makes it so creamy.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Off we go. 2 oh wait!
It's just 1.
I dropped one, so we'll use this one that I didn't drop. Oh, I dropped that one too. We're gonna have to start over. Okay, we're doing it. We're trying your hack. 1 ice cube. I'm sorry, but I don't really believe you, but let's find out. Oh, and you may be thinking, why not do a double batch of hummus? It's kind of hard on your blender motor, even a Vitamix. So I would stick with single batches of hummus. It'll get a lot smoother too. Let's rock and roll. Start it slow and speed it up. You'll need your plunger to be constantly mixing this up, and boom, that's hummus. Easiest thing ever. You should always have it in stock. Put it on your sandwiches, on a topper, a condiment for any of your dishes. You're just gonna love it. And you're gonna love it as a main ingredient in this pasta. It's gonna thicken up as it goes.
Moment of truth for the ice cube test.
Looks kind of creamy. This hummus is gonna be a little warm. It'll probably thicken up even more than you see here. Ooh, this is looking nice and creamy. But I will admit it looks just about as creamy as our normal hummus. I'm not buying the ice cube thing, but I support you. Do it. This is a pretty handy little spatula for getting everything out of that blender, because I hate wasting hummus. There's a way better spot for it than a blender, and that's in my belly. Okay, let me rinse this blender. Public service announcement. Rinse your blender immediately after making hummus so that it doesn't become a crusty mess and a dirty part of a healthy life.
Wow.
That's the easy way to rinse a blender. Let's have a little taste, okay? Let's see. That's perfect hummus. There is no better than that. You buy this at the store, it's gonna be way more tahini, tons of olive oil, a whole boatload of salt. This is the real deal. This is how it should taste. It's time to cook some pasta. This is the pasta we love. It's a Barilla red lentil pasta. They have it in a rotini like this one, and they do it in a penne. We love it because it doesn't fall apart. It actually keeps its structure. So many of those gluten-free pastas, you cook them like 10 seconds longer than the box says, and they just disintegrate into garbage. Let's get it cooking. All I'm gonna do is bring a nice big pot of water to a boil, and we'll throw in this pasta. Leave lots of space. In other words, lots of water in there because we are gonna add a couple of ingredients to it later. Our pasta has just a couple minutes left of boiling. Are you ready for a sweet, sweet hack? We are gonna make a pasta dish, and it's gonna have some spinach in it, and we're gonna put some artichoke hearts, but this could be anything that you like. I do recommend some greens. It's a great way to get the greens. But this is a frozen bag of spinach, and so what I like to do, and we used to also use frozen artichoke hearts from Trader Joe's, but they stopped making them. So I'm a little heartbroken about that. Now we gotta buy them in a can. They often have the salt. I always rinse them as much as I can, get as much of the salt off. You're not gonna get all of it off. The hack is, we've got that pasta water going. Why not take, and I do this with frozen broccoli and cauliflower too all the time if we're making those kind of peas, yeah, when I'm making mac and cheese. This is a whole pound of spinach, that's a lot. And of course you can use fresh spinach too, and this will get it nice and wilty. I think I use more like half a bag. Get it back up to a boil because you just threw a bunch of frozen stuff in there. And then clip the rest, throw it in your freezer for next time. Boom. Make this every week until you finally get sick of it and want to switch to something else. It's a great way to do it, by the way. Once you figure out one recipe, why put yourself through the hard work of going and learning another recipe and another recipe and another recipe? Do this over and over. You're gonna remember it. It's as easy as hummus and pasta.
Is that why it's called hummus pasta?
Sure is. But why not? I'll throw the artichokes in. They're already soft and whatever, but we can heat them up. We can get them up to temperature this way, and then it'll just be a matter of straining out the water and throw together our little hummus sauce. That just needs like a minute or two to thaw out, and you're golden. We are boiling and the pasta's done. I'm ready to strain out the water. Now you can save some of this water and use it for our sauce. Then you got hot water too. Now it's as simple as straining out the water. I'm actually gonna put a little bowl under my strainer and save some of the water because we can use that hot flavorful water to make our sauce. Boom, right back in the tank. Since all this is already hot, we don't really need the stove anymore. Let's make it saucy. I think we need like maybe a half a cup of hummus, but just take a nice spoonful, throw it in there. Let's grab some of this pasta water because we want to make it a little more liquidy. Start stirring, see what happens. We're gonna add a couple ingredients, but we want to get our sauciness factor just right here. I want a little more hummus. Let's get it a little creamy. It doesn't matter how much, half a cup, a cup. This was kind of a nice big box of pasta. You don't have to measure. Stir it up. Now it's getting thick, so maybe I'll add a little bit more juice. Look at that green spinachy pasta water.
This is an eyeball it recipe.
Yeah, definitely. You just want this to get as saucy as you want it to get, and then you're gonna be in great shape.
Is that also chickpea pasta?
This was red lentil pasta, but there are chickpea pastas. So you could have chickpeas on chickpeas. Well, actually I prefer garbanzos on chickpeas.
Yeah, it is way better that way.
So now we've got a couple more things to add. I want to put in some Italian seasoning. Well Your World makes an amazing Italian seasoning that you can buy on our website, but you can just use plain old Italian seasoning too if that's all you can get. Just do a nice little sprinkle. We'll put a recipe in the description box so you know the amounts.
It makes it so great, Dill.
It's got garlic, it's got some nutritional yeast, some red bell pepper, all the other normal Italian things. And then we love also in here is our salt substitute. This has like a salty flavor, but no salt, no potassium, none of that fake stuff. It adds a nice little tang to this dish. Let's give it a stir and see what happens. So you can use any kind of seasoning you like. You can put some curry in here, go the Indian kind of flavor. Well Your World's got an Indian seasoning too that is so good. You could put a little more garlic in too, but since our Italian had it, I won't add it, but I'll put it in the recipe. Just like that, this pasta is ready to enjoy. What do? All we do is boil some pasta, throw in some spinach, throw in some hummus, whatever, and you're done. Fastest, easiest recipe. Do you want to know another little topper, a little hack, a little flavor, not Parmesan cheese hack?
Yes.
Raw cashews, just plain raw cashews. We keep them in the freezer so that they're not so readily and easily accessible for us to just munch on. Cashews are too delicious to be at our arm's reach. And then you take some nutritional yeast, preferably the Well Your World Nooch nutritional yeast. Not fortified with anything. This thing is so good. Just throw some in there. You don't need to be measuring. And then you could throw in some Stardust or some Italian, whatever you want to add for a little bit of flavor in here. Just have some fun with it. You can make it a little bit different each time. Give it a little shake.
You love it for the bartender shake?
Yeah, it gives me my happy feels. And we've got a lovely little Parmesan topper. Let's put this meal together and I'll show you. Oh, it's thickening even more as the pasta cools a little bit. This is looking so good. Look at that gorgeous bowl of pasta. Put a little bit of our topper on there. You can do a sprinkle of salt here. Since the artichokes had it, I think we're gonna be salty enough for me.
Crushed red pepper?
Ooh, crushed red pepper. Let's get a little bit of heat. Oh yeah, that's looking good. How about a taste? You all ready? Even better than I remember. We gotta make this more often. Reebs, you gotta get in here.
Well, I was excited for the Reeb's taste.
You're looking good doing it.
Oh my gosh, that's insane. It's so simple. You saw Dylan put it together and it tastes incredible.
Dare I say this was your idea again? I feel like it was. Hummus and a pasta? I remember being like, what? Okay, let's do it.
Hey, if you've got it in your fridge already, this can come together so easily. You gotta try it.
You know those nights where you just don't want to cook, but you need to eat something healthy? This is the trick right here. You want to get in and out of the kitchen fast, make this hummus pasta. I know you've got everything you need right now, so go down to the description box, get this recipe, and post in the comments about how much you loved this dish. We'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching, y'all. Bye.